The galactic nursery aboard the Harmony's Dawn was supposed to be a place of peace and learning. Nira had been assigned as the human caretaker for the multi-species younglings 6 months ago, and she'd grown fond of every single one of them, even when they chewed on her reports or tried to help with tasks far beyond their tiny capabilities. Today started like any other. Nira entered the play area with a cart full of nutrient blocks, her mind already running through the day's lesson plan. She didn't see the bench. The impact was immediate and catastrophic, at least from her perspective. Her right toe collided with the metal leg of the low bench, with a force that sent shock waves of pain radiating up her foot. Nira's face contorted, her teeth clenched, and then, from somewhere deep in her human ancestry, came the response that had echoed through millennia of stubbed toes, stepped-on Legos, and furniture ambushes. "Oh!" She hopped on one foot, clutching the injured toe, her face cycling through shades of red that the younglings had never seen before. "Why? Why is this bench even here?" The nursery fell silent. 12 pairs of eyes, some with multiple pupils, others with bioluminescent membranes, stared at their caretaker. To the cubs, Nira had always been the gentlest presence in their lives. She sang them songs in that strange human language. She patched their scrapes with careful hands. She never raised her voice, even when Ticklick had accidentally set the reading corner on fire. But now she was hurt, and she was angry. Rokan, a young Karzathi with silver fur and oversized ears, stood frozen near the toy chest. His species had evolved as pack hunters on a death world where loyalty was survival. At only 4 standard years old, his instincts were already razor-sharp. He watched Nira limp to a chair, still muttering threats at the inanimate bench, and something primal activated in his young mind. The human, his human, had been attacked. "Meeting," Rokan announced in his high-pitched voice, using the basic word Nira had taught them. "Everyone, now!" The other cubs gathered immediately. There was Pips, a floating Kelthie whose translucent body pulsed with concern. Zesix and Zesax, the Threen twins who communicated through color changes. Little Momo, whose species humans had named space otters because of their playful nature and impressive whiskers. And 8 others representing 8 different worlds, 8 different evolutionary paths, all unified in this moment by a single purpose. Rokan climbed onto a cushion so he could address the assembly properly. "The bench hurt Nira," he declared, his voice carrying the serious tone of a general addressing troops. "We must defend her honor." "Defend?" chirped Momo, not entirely sure what that meant, but committed nonetheless. Pips bobbed up and down. "But it's a bench. It doesn't have consciousness." Rokan's ears flattened against his head, a sign his species made before a hunt. "That makes it worse. It attacked without reason, without mercy." He'd been listening to too many of Nira's history lessons about Earth's ancient warriors. Zesix turned bright orange, the Threen color for agreement. Zesax matched immediately. "What do we do?" asked Ticklick, whose species breathed methane and had to wear a small environmental suit in the oxygen-rich nursery. Rokan had already been planning. "We move the bench. We hide it where it can never hurt Nira again." The operation began immediately. Nira, still recovering in her chair with her toe elevated on a pillow, noticed the unusual silence from the play area. She craned her neck to look and saw nothing. The cubs had vanished. Her maternal instincts immediately flared. "Kids, where did you—" A scraping sound interrupted her. The bench, the cursed bench that had wounded her, was moving across the floor, except benches didn't move on their own. She stood up, wincing, and limped toward the sound. What she found would be recorded in her personal log and replayed at diplomatic functions for years to come. Rokan had organized the cubs into a coordinated team. The stronger ones pushed while others pulled, using their own creative methods. Pips had somehow created a localized gravitational field to reduce the bench's weight. Momo had wrapped his tail around one leg for extra grip. The Threen twins were changing colors in synchronized patterns, apparently their way of keeping rhythm for the group. "Heave!" Rokan commanded in his squeaky voice. "For Nira! For Nira!" the cubs chorused. The bench scraped another few inches toward the storage closet. Nira stood there, one hand over her mouth, her injured toe completely forgotten. Her eyes began to water, not from pain but from something else entirely. What, what are you doing? She managed to ask. Roken turned, his silver fur puffed up with pride. The bench hurt you. We're putting it away forever. It will never hurt you again, Nira. We promise. The other cubs nodded solemnly, even the ones without heads who had their own species-specific ways of showing agreement. Nira slowly lowered herself to the floor, sitting cross-legged despite her protesting toe. The cubs immediately abandoned the bench and swarmed to her, their small bodies pressing close, offering comfort in their own unique ways. You're taking revenge on the bench? Nira asked, her voice thick with emotion. For me? You protect us, Roken said simply, climbing into her lap. We protect you. This is Pack. Pips floated down to rest on her shoulder. This is family, the Keltie added in their musical voice. Momo chittered in agreement, his whiskers tickling her arm. Later, Captain Thranks would review the security footage and shake his four heads in bewilderment. He'd seen human soldiers face down armadas without flinching. He'd witnessed human diplomats negotiate peace from the brink of war. But this, a human caretaker breaking down in tears while a dozen alien cubs cuddled her, all because they'd tried to avenge her stubbed toe? This was something else entirely. Humans, he muttered to his first officer. They don't just survive death worlds. They make everything around them want to protect them. How does one species do that? His first officer, who'd served with humans in the border conflicts, just smiled. They care first, Captain. They care so completely that caring back becomes inevitable. In the nursery, Nira held her cubs close. The bench remained in the middle of the floor, forgotten. Roken's revenge mission had been derailed by hugs, but none of them seemed to mind. Thank you, Nira whispered to her tiny protectors. Thank you for caring. Roken's tail wagged. Always, Nira, always.